Smiles. You probably see a lot of them in one day. Maybe your mom, maybe a friend, maybe a stranger you pass on the street is smiling. Though, not every smile you see is real, nor is the happy attitude some people show. Some people are good actors, and you would never really tell they're actors because they're not. A lot of people don't realize what a smile can really hide. A lot of people can not see the mask others put on during the day, out in public, even with their closest friends and family. Um, One night you can be fully set on doing something you know you shouldn't be doing, and the next day you could be sitting in your classroom with your friends popping jokes like nothing ever happened the night before. Everyone does it. Um, Even if it's not every day, I'm sure we've all done it at some point. Um, I've done this almost every week for the past couple of years, even if it's just like one day out of the week. I'm not scared to admit that, and I know that a lot of people probably are scared to come to terms with that, and that's okay. People are broken and people are hurt, especially in the rise of social media and online platforms. Youth, especially, are more prone to seeing things they shouldn't be seeing, hearing words they don't deserve to hear, and being put into a terrifying position, like really terrifying, scary. Social media has really ruined people's perspective on a lot of things. Mental health, specifically, has significantly reached an all-time low for a lot of people because of this rise in social media, especially after the pandemic. Just being able to stay in bed and consume news, talk to loved ones first thing when you wake up, and even control aspects of your home with your phone, it's completely broken people, and it's not good. It's not good for you, especially with love. This is a big one. Love is completely different than what it once was, and a lot of people don't even realize when they start experimenting with relationships and sexual intimacy. They kind of expect their situations to reflect that of movies and TV shows and like all these love stories that you see online. But it's like it's nothing more than a couple short worded sentences over the phone and lack of emotion and eye contact as soon as you connect outside of the screen. It's like people kind of find themselves in a loop, and it's like you're not always going to get what you want, and you should kind of stop. Um, you kind of have to face that fact that maybe it's not going to be the perfect relationship that you want. But people find themselves kind of in this loop, repeating similar things as the day previous, and every new encounter kind of being like the last one they had. Even if it's like a completely different situation, it's like there's so much loop there, you know? Um, and social media, uh, comment sections, especially on TikTok, a lot of them are reused and recycled. Same with posts. They're just, you see like the same post once every like week. And it's like, there's so much propaganda and fear in the news too. And it's like, it all gets painful and repetitive, but no one ever decides to pull away because they're so used to the routine of checking their phone first thing in the morning and carrying their phone with them throughout the day and always being right there with them. And it's great. It's crazy. Addiction can be defined as the fact or condition of being addicted to a particular substance, thing, or activity. And I think social media can fall under this definition just as much as a lot of highly addictive things like porn and drugs and alcohol. And nobody really ever mentions porn and social media, but those are two really big addictions, in my opinion. That's not to say they're worse or as harmful as drugs, but they do a lot of harm, and they're still highly addictive, especially with short form media like TikTok, Instagram Reels, and every fucking app ever doing that now, and texting over social media platforms like Snapchat, even Tinder. That kind of like ruined a lot of um, dating in this age. Those really solidified addiction into the social media aspect. Life is really different in the age of electronics and social media, and it's probably only going to get worse from here on out, especially with AI and stuff. But great. It's good for technology that we're going to get better, and it's good for scientists and fucking whatever, but it's terrible for the social lives and well-beings of humans, and people are slowly forgetting what it looks like to live. Like, that's literally it. They don't know what life really is anymore because of social media, especially after the pandemic. Um, there's sunsets and mountains out there that will make people literally cry just by seeing them, and there's so much to do after high school. There's parties and activities to do every weekend on college campuses. There's bigger places to go and see, travel. You know, it's like everyone thinks they're going to live this one life the same day for the rest of their life because they're not used to change and they're not old enough to leave. And the only way that's true is if you make it true. You can live the life you seek if you really tried. You can shoot for it and you can try. You can do something good, but it's like people really only think I'm going to live this life for the rest of my life because they haven't really they don't know what it's like to be not in the same position they're at because they're just so used to it, right? Um, that kind of I hope that makes sense. But it's like you have to take the opportunity of a lifetime and the lifetime of opportunity because if you just live the same day for the rest of your life, nothing changes. That's sad. That's upsetting because there's so much to do. There's a whole world for you to explore. And that's not to say life is easy by any means. It's definitely not. You got to work your way up for sure. Um, life isn't easy, even to the people who grew up living a perfect life that you see in like TV and movies and stuff. But people find a lot of emotions in different areas of life. Example: one person may find comfort in another person or multiple people, while another may find comfort in the room alone. And I guess it can kind of depend how you grew up, who was there when you were maturing, and what feels most routine to you. Um, Normal, I guess, quote unquote. Rushing to your room and locking yourself there after an argument or like after a terrible day at school, it's fine. It's totally okay. If that's what you're used to, then that's normal. Even if it's not somebody else's normal, it's normal to you and that's fine. And life can get like super difficult and sometimes that can lead you down a path you never thought you'd go down. Um Hit after hit, you can start suppressing your emotions and that can make you stay silent, almost like you're alone only with your thoughts. And sometimes you can lash out because of it and it might be on the wrong person one day. And sometimes you can suppress it so much that you start to blame nobody but yourself, even if you know deep down it's nowhere near your fault. Uh, Sometimes this can start make you start experimenting with the ways to get those feelings out or to get rid of them entirely. And this may lead people down the path of harming themselves or the people around them. This may lead to people starting to drink or do drugs because they want to forget. And when they start to forget, they also forget why they're doing that in the first place, and that can cause addiction. And this may even lead to suicides, which is incredibly common in our society. And personally, I've thought about it almost every day for the last 2 years. I don't know if I'd ever do it, but I think about it a lot. And I believe that it's more about life than dying. Um, I feel like I want to die so I can be noticed more than I want to die because I don't want to be here anymore. That's a factor of it, but it's more like maybe if I die, then people will notice me for once. And that's just my personal experience with it. And I know I have that ability to harm myself. Everyone has that ability to harm themselves. And sometimes when you express those feelings of potential self harm or feelings of struggle, a lot of first reactions are usually, no, you're not struggling. Don't think of that. Why would you do that? You're doing it for attention. And that's a big one. I know that's a big one. So, from me to you, the listener, I see you and I recognize your pain. I recognize that you have the ability to do something harmful to you or another person. And I recognize that you may need help. So I want you to try and direct that energy and feelings that you have to something completely different. Those thoughts of harm and pain, um, shift it. Whatever you're feeling, shift it to a different outlook. A big one is art. You see art everywhere: paintings, drawings, music, TV, movies, even things like video games and poems. Those are art. And I want you to try shift to that or something. Try experiment with your feelings. Try write them down on a piece of paper or in your notes. Journaling is a big one, but you can also write them into like stories or big speeches or lyrics and poems. And you don't have to do anything with it, but just writing them down can feel so much better. Even drawing and painting what you feel or see that you don't even know if what you're seeing, but sometimes if you just start painting and drawing, it's like that can be what it is. And it's weird. It's weird. I know it sounds weird, but I've seen people do it, and it's like you're not a clown for showing how you truly feel, or you're not a clown for expressing it, your feelings to a person, or just in general, like therapy or journaling, whatever it is you do. It's you're not a pussy for doing it. I know a lot. I know that word's thrown around a lot, especially with the males when they cry. It's like, oh, you're a pussy, but it's like, I believe you're more strong being able to recognize feelings, like the feelings that you have, and being able to express them more than you are bottling them up and acting like you're a-okay. Even just crying can make you feel like so much better and lighter, I guess, before you cried. And that's why we have emotions like that in the first place. It's like so we can express ourselves without needing to fully express ourselves. So, the feelings and energy you have inside of you can be really strong, very strong. And I just want you, whoever you are, and whatever you're feeling, I want you to point that energy you have anywhere. You can shoot that energy and put it anywhere. I just don't want you to point it at yourself. Never point it at yourself. Don't push it on yourself. Ever. Because that can cause more harm than you'd ever think. So please, point that energy you have anywhere. Just never point it at yourself.